In fact, what happened 2 weeks ago is very shocking because it was demonstrated to all of us, in fact, indeed the whole world, that in Malaysia, even an elected representative, a lawmaker, can be kicked and punched by a policeman. And I think that is something that we really have to fight against. In fact, the legislators concerned should do whatever they can to seek legal redress. What is the meaning of democracy when even elected representatives, our elected representatives, are treated like common criminals? Don't talk about the common rakyat. And I'd like to emphasize again that this gathering is, to me, I know many of you are fighting against ISA and this A and that A, but to me this is an issue of freedom of expression. I think our constitution guarantees us that right. And the police must, and the political masses must understand that. And we have to persevere until they understand that. In fact, when I say that we want to have speakers corner and so on, I'm not talking only of people that say the things that we want to hear. Anyone who is prepared to debate in a peaceful manner, express themselves peacefully, should be allowed the venue and the space to. In fact, I was in town this afternoon, and I saw hanging from a big building, I think it's the Historical Society building in Jalan Tun Razak, next to our National Library. They had this huge banner that says, "Kekalkan ISA, pertahankan marwah Melayu." I mean, freedom of expression, I have no complaints about that, but of course, it's very sinister when people connect a piece of law to an agenda or ethnic agenda. And I'd like to share with you what I know of the recent ISA arrest. You would have read in newspapers, especially Utusan, that these people were arrested. Tricia, for example, was arrested because she was opposing Islam and this and that. But I tell you, the amount of goodwill and support for her from the people, from the Muslims throughout the whole country, and especially in Selangor, it's unbelievable. After her release, she was invited every night to all the different kampongs. Some of those places I didn't even know existed. They were so remote. And the crowd was amazing. You have 200, 300 village folks that came out because they wanted to hear her side of the story. There was so much goodwill for her. And I was told that the mosques throughout the country, and again especially in Selangor, were actually holding prayers to intercede for her, to pray for her release, to pray for her safety and so on. But these are the things that you don't read about in the newspapers, in the mainstream media. In the mainstream media, they try to pit us against each other. As my good friend Dato' Zaid Ibrahim has been saying every now and then, don't pit the Malays against the non-Malays. Don't pit the Muslims against the non-Muslims. He's been saying that to the politicians, the racist politicians of this country. Because if you keep doing that, and this is his words, you will destroy the nation. But sad to say that someone like Zaid Ibrahim is still a voice in the wilderness. But we have to support right-thinking politicians and right-thinking civil society leaders who are prepared to stand up for what is right, who are prepared to speak the truth, even at great personal cost. All right, before I go on and on, I'm not a politician actually. Anyone else wants to come and say a few words of encouragement? In fact, Haris was with me when we had a chat with the Menteri Besar about, I think, 2 weeks ago. And he says, yes, we should have a Hyde Park in Selangor where anyone can stand on the soapbox and say his piece. Thank you. Anyone wants to share? Tricia, you want to speak on behalf of the...
Hi, good evening everyone. I'm Tricia, and I'm supposed to represent the younger generation. So I hope I am speaking on behalf of you who are here. If you're not, you can take the mic as well and speak. I'm in my 20s. Can I get a raise of hands of who's in their 20s here? I know many of you want to be. Okay, thank you. Well, I know I'm supposed to be talking about Malaysian politics, but I just came back from the US. I was there observing the elections, and it was a great experience, but primarily because there were so many young people involved. You had people at the age of 19 who were running for the state congress. You had school kids and college kids who were all involved in the campaign. There was one kid who was 21 years old, and he headed the Democratic campaign in the whole of Chicago. So when I heard that, I was really inspired, because how about the young people in Malaysia? I'm sure that there's a lot of latent energy that is very pent up right now, and I think we are allowing that space to have these things, freedom of expression. You know, the thing is that the Malaysian government always points a finger at America when they accuse the government of being unfair in the ISA, because they say, look, you have Guantanamo Bay as well. But recently, as Obama has taken over the presidency in the US, they have just discovered that 3 Algerians who are held are not legally held because there was not enough evidence to show that they were actually terrorists. So there's a commitment that there will be releases. And I'm not sure about you, but I think that there's a wave of inspirational change that's taking place throughout the world. People were very happy when they heard that Obama won, and you can be critical about him, but I think that he has that worldview, and I hope that some of this inspirational change will come here as well. Being able to take a stand fearlessly, because we know that the ISA is an act that is unjust and it needs to be repealed immediately. So thank you. And one last thing, people also ask what can we achieve by being here week after week. It's true that we are not lawmakers, but we are reminding others that there are people back in Kamunting who are suffering, people who have been there for 6 years and more. Imagine if one of your children was taken away without any trial whatsoever. So if you believe in justice, if you believe in something that is supposed to be fair for the country and for the citizens, you all are citizens. So I think, yeah, please continue to come, and thank you.